At the inception of the company, what's important is to know that they don't know what they don't know. And if they are seeking to develop a medical device, they should find local corporate counsel, people with experience in representing medical device startups, to help them understand what the framework will be for their company and how their business model will play out. So it's usually people contact a corporate attorney first, and they act as general counsel for a startup. And then they'll refer you to employment lawyers. They'll even do some matchmaking to help you find the right patent attorneys. So generally, the corporate attorneys have a good network of professionals that they know who can help, including accounting firms, executive compensation attorneys, employment law attorneys, tax specialists. So there's all sorts of issues that face a young company. When it comes to legal issues, some of the early pitfalls tend to fall into big categories. Employment law pitfalls. So for instance, if you need a big manufacturing force, how you classify them in terms of exempt or non-exempt employees, that can have big financial repercussions. What state you incorporate in can affect the body of laws that will apply to your business and might apply to litigation that you might face in the future. How you compensate the executives and how you set up the equity in the company can be very emotional and cause a lot of legal friction between founders of companies. And typically bringing in the right management team, that's the biggest challenge for any young company, because a lot of inventors don't understand the business aspects of their future company, and having to take that kind of guidance from an outsider or a person that's perceived as an outsider can be the source of litigation in the future. So I've seen all sorts of disputes amongst founders and venture capitalists, and how they interact with one another. And so setting up a culture early on with the help of lawyers, actually, who can guide you based on their experience, can be very helpful and can make you better prepared to avoid conflict in the future. So finding an attorney, you should shop around. That's the basic premise here. I think there's all sorts of law firms and attorneys that can represent you, and some want your business as a young startup, others don't. But they can always refer you to others, and it behooves lawyers to be nice to people who might be future clients or adversaries. So there are all sorts of blogs now that are available. A lot of young attorneys like to put out blogs as their own marketing efforts. So within a private law firm, there's a lot of pressure to bring in business. And so lawyers have had to learn how to market themselves. So blogs are one great source of understanding what their specialties are. Legal news feeds, so there's actually legal blogs or professional online sources that cover law firms, so it's sort of like their internal gossip network. And then there's also bar associations, and you can go to the bar websites, and they actually list people who have special accreditation for certain specialty areas. It's costly to get legal advice. So you want to understand if you can call every day, 5 times a day, and will you get billed for that? So I think people are a little uncomfortable about talking about money and how much will this cost and what kinds of practices these firms have in terms of billing for conversations and things like that. I think you don't want to get into litigation with your own counsel. That would be horrible. I think what's really important is for young companies to trust their outside counsel. So unless you are forthcoming and share all the information with your attorney, they can't protect you or your future entity. So you need to be able to disclose things like, oh, I did this while I was actually working at a university and I had assigned all my rights to all my inventions to the university. Well, that can have repercussions because you may not have the right to start a company and to file patents on your own or in the name of a new entity. So you have to disclose the whole story. Just be open and ethical, and that'll help you avoid most problems.